We are live. Welcome to the FGTN show on today, April 11th, 2025. We are a little bit late than normal, but per usual, a little early, a little late, a little on time, maybe the next day. It's all going to work out. We got a jam-packed show for you for today. Whether you're listening live, drop down in the comments, let me know who's here, or if you're on the replay squad, just go down in the comments and just type in replay squad. I'd appreciate it. I know there's thousands of you that watched on the replay, and I always love seeing who's hanging out. Pack show tonight. It's going to be fun. This is going to be one of the more fun ones. We've got Garmin has a new software update out, and there are some changes. If you're a Garmin user, you may want to know of. OnX has some expansions. They've got some partnerships, some cool things going on there. A couple other things in the news category. New products. We've got solid state batteries. That's right, solid state batteries. Interesting. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about a new type of fishing line spool thing that they got out there that actually looks pretty sweet. Some new baits. We're going to talk about hydrogen powered outboard motors that like Yamaha's releasing. Bunch of other new products in there as well, some upcoming events and some deals at the end of the stream. So stick around. If you're watching on the replay, there may be chapters auto added in here so you can skip around. But yeah, drop in the comments. Let me know who's here. We got OTC Outdoor Adventures tuning in. Nice to see you here from Otter Tail County. Nice to see you up late on this wonderful Friday night. All right, let's go ahead and jump on in. So first up, if you are a Garmin user, you may be aware, you may not be aware, but there is an April 2025 Garmin software update out. We're going to fly through a lot of these topics, so I'll link everything down below in the description and a pinned comment once the stream's over so you can check it out. But a couple things that I want to call out. Garmin, just so you know, Garmin typically will release anywhere between 2 and 4 software updates a year. I used to do videos on the latest and greatest software updates as they come out, but they're usually kind of boring. This one had a few things in it. I'm probably not going to do a dedicated video. That's what this stream will be for. But we're going to touch on it, and then I'll link it so you can check it out. There's 3 different ways to update, of course, your unit. You can use the Garmin Express app on your computer, download the software that way. You can go ahead and use Active Captain, or you can get a micro SD card and do it that way as well. So two things in here that I want to talk about. There's more than 2 updates that are happening. The first is the AIS warnings for object avoidance. This is actually a pretty cool thing. I don't know how many of us here in kind of like the ice fishing belt, because I know a lot of people here ice fish and open water fish. If you're on a coastal, you'll probably get more benefit out of this. But the idea is that their chart plotters can now display and broadcast the 1214 addressed AIS safety messages on the chart plotter. So these will be things like letting you know when you're within the range of a floating object, as well as North Atlantic right-of-way, whale seasonal, and dynamic management areas. It also will tell you about potential issues with your speed. It'll also tell you potential issues with you're on course to run into another boat. So some pretty cool features there. I'll link a article as well that goes a little bit more in depth as to what this is. I don't think this is going to help a ton of us because these types of features aren't typically in like the inland lakes areas, maybe the Great Lakes. But in order for this to work, not only do you need a chart plotter that can support it, which honestly most of the Echo Map and GPS Map can, believe it or not. If you have a UHD2 in Ultra 2, or if you have like the 7600 and up series in the GPS Map, but you need one of Garmin's AIS devices, and they're not cheap. I think the cheapest AIS device that they have is a VHF radio that you can actually integrate in, and that's like $699. So I doubt very many of us this will be applicable to, but for those that it is, this is actually a really cool feature. I just picked up a new VHF radio for my new boat. It is not a Garmin one because I got a top of the line one for half the price because I didn't need it integrated into my unit. So yeah, there you go. Second thing, so other things, you're going to see a little bit more around nav aids in here. I'm not going to touch on. The Force Kraken trolling motor from Garmin. I have this. I'm excited about it. So you saw probably in the video, what was it, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when we did the FGTN show and we announced that the Force Pro is coming out, which is typically for like a bass boat, right? It's the upgrade of the Force trolling motor. And it has reverse thrust capabilities. Whereas, like, if you flip it either with the pedal or with the handheld controller into reverse, it doesn't spin the head around and go backwards in reverse. It just reverses the thrust of the prop to pull you backwards, which is also a really great way if you have like weeds on the prop, you can spin them off. Well, the Force Kraken did not have that capability previously to just auto reverse just the thrust of the motor. It would spin the head around. It would do it really quick, but it would spin the head around. They did a firmware update that it now can do reverse thrust on the Force Kraken trolling motor. The Force Kraken trolling motor now is basically like the top of the line, right up there with the Force Pro. Different uses. Force Pro, you're going to use in a shallower boat, like a bass boat, those types of boats. Force Kraken, if you need that longer shaft, you're going to go this route. So yeah. So anyways, enough about that. Force trolling motor software updates. They made it a lot easier after this update, so that way you'll be able to get your updates through Active Captain or the compatible Garmin chart plotters when it's connected to it when you're updating those as well. So that is a nice thing there for you on that as well. If you are one of the individuals that has a boat that has one of the OEM combo pages built into your unit, they've made some updates to that to make it a little bit easier to see. Some pin code updates, Active Captain, InReach pairing updates. So if you have an InReach device, you can actually pair it with your chart plotter, and they streamline basically the pairing process. And then there's a graph in here that shows a table in here that shows compatibility. All right. I thought that was pretty exciting, but let's go ahead and move on here. Planet. So there's this company called Planet. We're going to talk about OnX a little bit here. Planet is a company called Planet Labs PBC, which is a leading provider of daily data and insights about change on Earth. Today, being April 3rd, so 8 days ago, actually, they announced a multi-year expansion with OnX. So, maybe OnX Fish, OnX Hunt. I use OnX Fish. I don't hunt. Otherwise, I would use OnX for hunting as well. But OnX Fish is expanding. We're going to talk more about OnX Fish here in a little bit because they've expanded now to the full another state, and they've made a couple other changes we're going to talk about. But basically, what this is, I'll link this so that way you can go check it out yourself as well. But Planet, the gist of it is Planet Data, Planet Labs has been providing since 2023. They began working together. Planet Labs had been providing satellite imagery data to OnX, and they would do it basically every other week. So every 2 weeks, the satellite imagery for an area would update. That is what has been and is currently in the OnX maps, which allows you to see like ice conditions, how iced over is a lake, what the snow look like in terms of for like hunting and those types of things. So it's like every 2 weeks you can see the condition satellite imagery, right? Well, now that they expanded their relationship, they can now provide daily satellite image updates. I don't know if OnX is going to integrate daily updates. I think they're going to, but I don't know for sure. If somebody here works with OnX or is on the OnX team, or can reach out to me via email, I'd appreciate knowing that because I'm a huge OnX Fish fan. I'd love if they gave us daily updates, but that is the key thing here is that OnX is going to get more frequent updates from this partner. So it's just making the OnX platform that much more valuable for us because we're going to actually be able to see not only more frequent updates, but supposedly Planet Labs has the most detailed satellite imagery that's available. Who knows what the government has, but that's available out there. So this is going to really kind of step OnX up and above a lot of the others that are out there. So kind of cool. Just want to let you know about that if you did not hear about that. This next one is actually a video I'm going to play for you. It is a 2-minute video. I probably won't play the full thing, but it's actually a pretty, you know, ugly thing that's happened. We talked about my weeks are just meshing together. They've been so busy. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. I think it was last week where we talked about uh, the best fishing charter captain in the world, right? And that probably the most viral thing that's ever happened in fishing. That video that had basically spread across the internet of that fishing charter captain. Well, this is not anywhere near as viral, but it's an unfortunate circumstance where um, somebody did something they shouldn't have done. So I'm going to play this. It has a happy ending to it, fortunately. But I just want to call out like, this is a good lesson learned. I really appreciate the company that did the thing at the end. Without going on and on here, I'm just going to play this for you. You should be able to hear it. I'm going to mute my mic, grab a sip here, and then we're going to keep rolling through this. We're going to be fast paced tonight. So I'll read through some of the chats here as well while this is playing. Let's go.
It hit me hard because, you know, these kids are just out here staying out of trouble, trying to find peace actually on the water.
So tonight we're following up with the story where a pair of teenagers are now getting brand new fishing rods after we showed you that video of an officer. He was caught on camera snapping theirs in half and throwing it into the water. Hello and thank you for counting on Gulf Coast News tonight. I'm Elise Chingari.
And I'm Alex Howard. As Gulf Coast News reporter Blaine Montgomery is reporting, the teens say they've learned their lesson about fishing where they're not supposed to and are extremely grateful to the Tampa man that gave them that new gear. Blaine?
2 weeks after the video circulated around the internet, gaining thousands of views, the owner of Take a Kid Fishing Incorporated drove down to Tice to meet the two boys and gift them with some brand new fishing gear. He told me he knew he had to do something the moment he saw the video, turning good from a bad situation.
All right, so we got little bag with a lot of equipment, lures, a hat, and let's talk about the cast net here.
Brand new fishing equipment and lessons learned.
I'm not gonna go back to the train tracks, most definitely, because I'm not gonna get my new rod snapped.
Nothing but joy and smiles from Sebastian Jimenez and Josue Miguel today as they met William Dunn, owner of Take a Kid Fishing. United from this video, it's been viewed more than 30,000 times. A bystander captured the moments back on March 21st, showing a Seminole Gulf Railway officer breaking the two boys' fishing rod before removing them off the railway tracks for trespassing near Russell Park. The video sparked a lot of chatter in the local fishing community. It immediately reached William Dunn in Tampa. He says the boys should have never been on the tracks, but their fishing gear should have never been broken.
It's dangerous. I don't condone them fishing there, but it should have been handled, you know, differently. It hit me hard because, you know, these kids are just out here staying out of trouble, trying to find peace actually on the water.
William says it's his mission to help get kids on the water and show them the happiness fishing can bring. He says seeing the boys' reaction meant everything.
All right, I will go ahead and link the video down below if you want to go check it out as well. But the gist of it is, these kids went on. They were out fishing, right? Instead of getting into trouble, doing good, and then of course they're not supposed to be on train tracks, railroad tracks while they're fishing. They're trespassing there, of course. So like I totally support like the officers coming, getting them off, giving them a warning or whatever. Like, hey, don't be up here. It's dangerous. It's not where we want you to be. But breaking their rods, I mean, come on, that's absolutely ridiculous. So I think this is the coolest thing ever that this nonprofit came out and said, you know what, we're gonna get you some new rods. Of course, it's nothing too crazy, but it's allowing these kids to get back out there. I think it sounds like maybe they learned their lesson. But anyways, sweet ending to the story. Hopefully that that enforcement officer gets a nice little coaching that he shouldn't be breaking other people's property. That's probably not a good way of going about it. So yeah. All right. Next up, we're not going to talk a ton about this, but I need to touch on it because it's actually a pretty big deal. If you don't know who he is, I'd actually be pretty surprised, especially if you follow the bass industry at all. There's a pro called Scott Martin. I actually chatted with him online on Facebook in DMs probably 6-7 years ago. He is like massive in the social media space. He's an amazing bass angler. He was basically accused of violating an information rule within the bass tournament competition space, where what you're not supposed to do is get information about a lake or a fishery that you're going to be fishing in within a certain period of time before the tournament starts. Somebody had accused him of doing it, and for whatever reason, he said, "I'm done. This is ridiculous. I'm out. I'm not going to fish in this tournament anymore." So he is withdrawn from the Bassmaster Elite Series, which is insane because he's been in it for a long time. And he is it says right here, the second veteran competitor to leave the Elite Series during the season. Matt Herron pulled out after he was also disqualified. So more to come. I don't have any detail on this. Was he actually cheating? Then shame on him. If he wasn't cheating and he's just doing it from a premise of like, if people are going to accuse you and then you got to go through a polygraph and all of this when you haven't done anything wrong and you have a good track record, I kind of get that side of it too. So we'll see. We'll see what comes uncovered. I haven't followed this the last couple of days. So we'll see. I will for sure cover this once there's more information out. Good, bad, or indifferent. Doesn't matter to me, but I'm going to share the news with you. So Grizzly saying sad what they did to Scott. Yeah, I don't know the whole story, Grizzly. So yeah, shoot me links or something if you found a good source of information or what you've seen. I need to do some research here over the next week or so. And with that, want to bring it to you this week. The FGTN show is sponsored by our channel members. So as you can see, we got a couple here in the chat actually live. We got Charles here and we got Blaine here, a couple of members of the channel that support the channel. If you're interested, it's $1.99 a month. It helps allow us to continue to produce all of this great free content on the channel. No pressure at all. There are some behind the scenes videos. We do a video behind the scenes or a live behind the scenes, just kind of what's going on, some of the new gear that's going to be tested, get some sneak peeks of stuff, do some giveaways in there, give you some coupons and discount codes, all in exclusive to the members. I'm not asking everybody to pay to be in the channel. That is not what this is about. It's just a great way to support. And these members have allowed me to not have to my dog is sneezing, not have to have sponsors from anybody in the fishing industry. So that's kind of cool. So if you're interested, go check it out. There is a link down below. And thank you to all of the members on the channel that do support the work that we do here. All right. Next up, OnX Fish has officially introduced the OnX Fish. OnX has officially introduced OnX Fish to its suite of outdoor adventure apps. So if you followed this channel, you've heard of OnX Fish over the last several months, probably ever since the beginning of the ice season. So late fall, actually. This year's Joel Nelson, great guy. He is a marketing manager for OnX Fish. He's big in the industry. Essentially what this is talking about is they've now officially, because it was beta before, so it was a beta access to Minnesota where they had maps and everything in Minnesota. Then they expanded to Wisconsin, and now they have Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, which they're now calling their Midwest area. So that Midwest geography is free for anybody that wants to get into it and use it, I think through early May. Let me see if we pop this up here. OnX Fish Midwest gives anglers the confidence to explore new opportunities they never knew existed. Okay, so you can get a 7-day free trial if you sign up now. If you are already in it, I think you get until May 4th. I got an email on it earlier today. I think that's the date. But then it is a paid program where you would buy OnX Fish Midwest. I think it just said on the other page here, $34.99 for a full year. I think it's worth it. A couple of the features that I really like is that we were talking about it a little bit earlier on. That satellite imagery is insanely good. Right now, it's every 2 weeks it gets updated. But I was literally just tonight looking to try to figure out a lake that I wanted to go to on Sunday, and I wanted to make sure that it was ice out so I could actually cruise on the lake. And it looks like it is. Now, it's about a week and a half old, and so I don't know if all that ice is gone or not yet. and I don't know anybody in that area that I can call. So I'm going to be driving up there and calling an audible if it's not all iced out. Whereas if they had the day-to-day updates, which seem to be hopefully coming soon for satellite imagery, I'd be able to tell right away just by looking at satellite imagery. So that's one of the cool features. They also have hotspots. This is not a sales pitch for them, but I'm just telling you some of the things that I really like. These hotspot features here. So essentially in the app, when you're looking at a lake, they're going to have a bunch of these numbers. Some of the lakes do. And it tells you about that spot in the lake. So like this is in Cass Lake, area 23, this little area on the lake, saying during the summer, the boomerang here will develop scattered weeds and will attract walleye, muskies, and pike. This is a popular spot with many locals. For walleyes, try working or live bait rigs along the edges of the bar. Casting jig and minnow combos down the edge of the bar can also be effective. Bucktails and tandem spinnerbaits work well. So they give you some detail. The other thing that is super cool about this app is the species data. So they tie into the DNR data to be able to say like when they surveyed it last. So you have all of the species that are in there. What are the lengths based off of the last survey that they did? What's the abundance level? Like all of that information is in here. So you don't need to go to your DNR website to figure out which lake do I want to get trophy potential fish. You can do all of it in the app. So it's really powerful. I get nothing if you sign up for it. I get nothing if you don't sign up for it. It doesn't matter to me. I don't even have a special link for you to save some money. Maybe I should do that. Try to get a link to save you guys some money. But it's pretty cool. If you want to check it out, it is now in Michigan. Pretty dang exciting. I know there's several of you that are from Michigan as well. All right. Next up is solid state batteries. I've been actually racking my brain, and this is like some people have known. I think this company, this is like not like breaking news, but this is relatively new news, and I think they just came out with their products not too long ago. I think like December is when they started releasing more of them and more of the news coming out. I just came across these because I've been asking myself, right? Because I've got Life PO4, lithium iron phosphate batteries, the Life PO4 batteries that I use for ice fishing electronics. I'm literally rigging them up in my gear garage right now in my boat for my trolling motor battery and electronics in that. And, and I'm asking myself, I'm like, geez, it's been like, holy smokes, 6 years, something like that, 7 years. I don't even know that I've been using Life PO4 batteries. Like, what's going to come next? And, solid state is a type of lithium from my understanding. I'm no battery expert here. This is actually a company, Solid State Marine. I'll click over to their site here in a second. But the idea is that there's no wet cells, there's no liquid. And so that does a few things in terms of safety. It also reduces the weight. These batteries for the same capacity weigh half as much as a Life PO4 battery. Like you think about like one of the big selling points of a Life PO4 battery is the weight savings from lead acid or AGM to go to a lithium battery, a Life PO4 battery. Now get that same capacity in half the amount of weight as a Life PO4 battery in the solid state because they don't have the wet cells, is my understanding. They're also a little bit smaller than their comparable lithium iron phosphate battery, and you get a little bit better depth of discharge as well out of it than you do even the Life PO4 battery. So pretty cool stuff here. You can see how it's skinnier here. It in the way is you have this is your normal Life PO4 battery. So you have a big area of carbon silicon composite anode. Then you have a porous membrane in the middle, and then you have a liquid electrolyte. Liquid weighs weight, right? Obviously. Here in a solid state battery, you've got a lithium metal anode, then you've got a solid state membrane, and then a solid state electrolyte. So these are solid, they're not moving, they're not in liquid form. So what makes these better? That's a great question. Let's flip over to their website because obviously they're going to try to sell their own battery. I've never used these batteries, so I'm not endorsing them, but they're lighter, half the weight of lithium. They're more powerful. They can have more capacity and higher outputs. They have a low temp charging where you can charge them to -4 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's actually about the same as lithium. And then if you have one of the ones with the heated core, you can go even lower. They're smaller. I validated both weight and size are lighter and smaller than a Life PO4 battery, even the newest ones that are out there on the market. And then there's no fire hazard. Lithium iron phosphate has been fantastic in terms of safety and reliability, in terms of not like bursting into flames. But this takes it one step further because there's nothing that can even leak out. And then these all have Bluetooth as well. So they've got them actually currently available on their website. Like if we were to look at like a 12-volt battery here, they've got a 90 amp hour 12 volt for $9.99, obviously not cheap. A 210 amp hour for $17.99, and you can see the rest here. But one thing that I think is interesting is the fact that these are also starting batteries. And I know that there's some companies that are out there that make cranking batteries that are Life PO4. And I know that there's mixed reviews on how well those work. What I don't know enough of is how well these solid state are going to perform. My understanding is that there's way less resistance in the battery, and so you can actually output more power. It's readily available quicker in right when you need it. So what they're saying here is it's allowing you to get 650 cold cranking amps in a continuous discharge rate of 250 amps out of the battery, which is pretty phenomenal. 90 amp hour, 12 volt. It's only 12 pounds, which is insane. And it's a few inches less in terms of length than what I've seen out there in terms of competitors. So this is all within a Group 24 package. So check it out. This is the first company that I've seen that has this. They've got, BMS protections, IP67 rating. They've got overload. They got all the details and specs here. So check it out. I'm not giving you a recommendation to go with this company. I'm letting you know about some of these technologies that are out there. Of course, there's a lot of battery manufacturers out there, and the fact that we haven't seen a ton of others move to solid state yet doesn't mean it's not coming. It just means that this could be the company that's at the bleeding edge of it, and that all the others are going to slowly, hopefully, come along if it truly is better. But it's something that's out there. My understanding is this is actually not a brand new technology. It's newer in this form factor, is my understanding. But it was actually invented and used for electric vehicles because of the safety, how they can be thinner, they can be lighter, they can be smaller, and have more capacity. Because, of course, in a vehicle, you want less weight, you want it to be smaller, and you want as much capacity as you can get. So kind of interesting there. So I thought that'd be something you'd be interested in. Next up, another new product that we got this week that we're going to talk about here is this guy. It's called the RigMate pre-tie dropper loop rigs. It's just like what it looks like. So think of like getting a spool of line, except this spool of line already has pre-tied dropper loop rigs on it. So you can see it's your line, and then you have dropper loops on it. So essentially the way that this works is if you pull it off of the RigMate here, and you got your line, and it says it's a leader wheel with pre-tied 5-inch dropper loops. So those are 5-inch dropper loops spaced at 18 inches apart. So you can use it to make up chicken rigs in a matter of seconds. Simply pull off the number of droppers you want, snip, add a swivel to the top, and a sinker to the bottom. So boom, 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 cut it, attach a swivel to the top, clip it on, and then, you don't even need to tie the line. You cut it, you clip to the top loop, you clip a weight to the bottom, and then you've got 18 inches apart hooks there. In the hooks, you're just putting through the eye and looping it around, so you don't even tie it on. So it's basically the easiest way in the world to do this in literally seconds. It says, thread each dropper up through the eye of your hook and over the bend, done. Number of droppers per RigMate spool depends on the pound test. 40-pound test is a good class for making rigs for B liners in lanes, including 80 knots. 80-pound is suitable for red snapper, including 60 knots. The line is not fluorocarbon, but a low-vis abrasion-resistant copolymer. It's priced at $40 US per spool at rigmate.com. So here's their website, rigmate.com. I'll link it down below. I might pick one of these up. I think I have to go look at Minnesota regulations. Otherwise, I'll have to go over and fish in Wisconsin. I think these might be now legal in Minnesota, or if they're not yet, I think they're going to be soon in terms of the 18 inches apart. I'll have to go look it up. I don't typically fish this way, so I don't know those regulations off the top of my head. I typically only fish with one lure on the end of my line, open water. All right, cool. Next up, a new bait and tackle company that I saw. Pretty cool here. I'll play a little bit of the video that they have on their website. I think that the premise behind it is that it's just, I mean, there's so many tackle in bait companies that are out there, right? But I think one of the really cool things about this company is that it looks like they've done a really good job in terms of the quality and the innovativeness in terms of like the effort they put into making these baits that they have. So they've got a Minnow 1, which the beginning part of this video that I'm going to play here will actually talk to you a little bit about how they came up with the Minnow 1, how many variations that they went through. And then of course they've got a bait jig head, which, you know what, let's click on this guy. I haven't looked at this jig head. I'm assuming it's tungsten. Designed to look like a bait fish head, tapered bullet shape, oversized 3D eye. Da 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 da. Is that weird that I don't know? A 16th and an 1/8 ounce? Versatile for casting, jigging, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't say. So I guess we don't know. They got the Minnow 4 hair jig. This is in that video. Probably not going to play a ton of the video. I'll just link it down below so that way you guys can check it out as well. Yeah, I don't know. The stacker jig head. Yeah, I don't know if they're using tungsten or not, now that we're looking at it here. But this plastic looks pretty good. When you see the action of it, this is the thing that I saw that I was most excited about. I like never fish with plastics, but this year I'm planning on fishing a lot more with them. The amount of action that you get from this plastic is pretty crazy. So, you know what? I'm not going to play the video because I don't want this to just turn into an ad for them, but I will link it down below if you want to check it out. I'm planning on picking a couple of these packages up in order to try them out. So I'll let you know either way how they work out, but that will be linked down below if you want to check them out. All right, next up, this is a video that I will play just maybe a minute of for you. This is from Yamaha Outboards. So Yamaha is working on this is a prototype of a hydrogen powered outboard motor. So I will mute my mic here, play this for you about a minute and a half. We'll have a little bit of a discussion and then we'll hop on through. We're almost done with some of these new products, and then we're going to talk about some of the events that are coming up and then the deals that I know a lot of you are here for. So I'll go ahead and play this now.
The first thing to know and understand about this, okay, is it's a prototype and it's a collaborative effort. It's an effort on the part of Regulator, who makes the boat, okay? Roush, who makes the fuel system, and then Yamaha, who makes the engine. This is based off the 5.6 liter, 450 horsepower V8 that we have, which is a direct injected motor. And direct injection is vital for creating power when you're using hydrogen gas. You don't have a fuel pump on this because you're using compressed hydrogen that's in the boat in tanks, and you're pumping that into the engine and then injecting that into the cylinder. So there's a lot of different things that are different about the, combusting hydrogen as opposed to fuel. But that's what we're here to learn, and this is completely a learning process right now.
Got you. So what are the benefits, I guess, of using hydrogen gas?
So tune into this part because I think this is a good question and it's not a great answer. He's asking because I cut him off a little bit here. What is the benefit of using hydrogen as a gas instead of the alternative? So
What are we getting? Is it cost effectiveness?
Well, this is all part of Yamaha's effort toward carbon neutrality. And, you know, as an industry, we're all facing this. And we need to find alternative fuels for the future of boating. And this is part of that multi-prong effort that we've got going on. We're doing electrics with our Harmo and our Torpedo. We've got alternative fuel boats, biofuels and things we're promoting. And then there, of course, is hydrogen. We want to see what we can learn here that we can make work in the future.
Gotcha. Safety-wise, how's the hydrogen when it comes to that?
Hydrogen, of course, is combustible, but in this system, Roush has been working with hydrogen for a number of years, and there is in the system a number of safeties that are built into it, safety systems, to make sure that you.
All right, so I'll go ahead and link the video if you want to see the rest of it here. Center Consoles Only is the YouTube channel that we were playing about a minute of that video from. You can go and give them the watch time. He does a really nice job doing the interviews and asking the right questions. So hydrogen outboard motor, it's a prototype. It looks absolutely sick. I'm sure it has some good power. I'm not a fan of like where do you go get all this hydrogen? It's probably not more cost efficient or cost effective. Things are probably going to break and they're going to be expensive to get fixed. Sure, it may not be unsafe, but there really isn't a ton of benefit other than the carbon neutrality, looking out for like the ozone, which I think is important and a good thing. And you got to start somewhere. So I give them credit for trying. I just don't think it's a marketable product yet. For them to say, which is interesting, right? They say this is a prototype. We're here to learn how this works. Well, if it's a prototype and nobody's going to use it, you're not going to learn a whole ton. So you actually need to make a product and then put it out there. But I mean, they're obviously smarter than I am at this stuff. So we'll see where this stuff goes. But again, cool innovation within the outboard motors space. Yamaha is innovating around hydrogen. We will see where we go from here. I don't know if hydrogen is going to be the next best thing. I think there's just so much opportunity with electric still. There's so much opportunity to continue to improve solar efficiency, to be able to truly regenerate power from the sun, or hydro, meaning not hydrogen, but like hydro, meaning like water. So like if you had a turbine or something in the water, as you're moving, you're actually regenerating power. Like batteries, as we just talked about with solid state batteries, they're getting more and more efficient and they can carry more capacity. And typically, like most people are charging their boats anyways because they need to top off their electronics batteries, top off their trolling motor batteries. So I think like as long as you can get a day or two use out of your motor and have enough battery power for it, maybe batteries will come next before with maybe like a solar attachment before we get to hydrogen. But yeah, who knows? If you guys have any thoughts on it, drop it down in the comments below. Otherwise, you can check out the video. I will link it once this is over. All right, this next product I put in the thumbnail because I thought it was a little goofy, and I can't imagine myself using it, but heck, it looks a little bit silly. I had to look and see, did this come out on April 1st? And it did not. Like, this is an actual product. So this is a slingshot fishing reel. So it's wrist mounted onto your wrist. It's fishing reel, and yeah, you push down the button, you get it hooked up to your slingshot. It's of course got an arrow, like a spearing type arrow, kind of like think like a crossbow or bow fishing type thing, but it's slingshot fishing. So you got to make sure obviously it's legal in your area. You go, and then I'm just imagining, right? Like I'm holding on to it here. I'm doing this. I let go. It hits the fish, and then I just bring my arm back and I start reeling in on my wrist. Like there's no rod. So like the line is just going to be like hanging there as you're reeling it in. I don't know. Seems a little janky. What's the person say? Interesting in a might be good in a survival kit kind of way. Yeah, I don't know. But like if there's literally an Amazon link. You can buy this product right now, $19.88. There are no reviews on the product. So we don't know if it works or not. How quickly do you get it? April 16th, 5 days. I'm not signed in obviously here, but yeah, interesting. So if somebody checks it out, let me know how it works. I don't see myself using it, nor do it. It's probably not even legal in Minnesota. Um, oh, I didn't share the page. Here's the Amazon page. 1988. No reviews or anything on it, but I'll link it down below if you want to go check it out. Kind of interesting. Yeah. Something to play around with in your back pond or something, right? Okay. Another new product. We're just going to touch on this. I think it's kind of cool here. We all know of like smart home technology, right? Where like the smart homes of the future, where you can like see everything, everything's connected. It's actually like the now. It's not even like the future stuff. It's like being able to see the thermostat, from your phone, being able to see what's going on with your sprinkler system or your lights. You turn your Philips Hue lights on or whatever you got, right? This is essentially that for your boat. It's called the Siren 3 Pro Connected Boat System. It's essentially this hub here that you connect into. It's got, of course, internet connectivity to it, which allows you to connect to it through like an Android or Apple tablet. You can use your phone as well. I'm not going to probably play the audio here, but can I zoom in, make it a little bigger here? Yeah. So essentially the idea is it's going to alert you of different things. So you have sensors that you can hook up on your boat. So like right here, you can see battery readings. You can have a bilge sensor if your bilge is on or off. Of course, somebody just walked by and unplugged the boat accidentally. So the shore power is off. You can see the temperature. So of course, depending on your boat and what you have on it, of course, if you have a cabin on your boat or a living area, you might have a thermostat or something like that. You've got your GPS location, security. I looked at that one, what security is, which they're going to show right now. It's a sensor inside of that compartment. Like, wouldn't you lock it? But maybe they broke into it or something like that. So I think that's interesting. This guy's asking, "Hey Alexa, tell me what my battery voltage is." So he feels good about that. This next person is probably going to go, "Oh, bilge," because there's water coming overboard because of the storm. This person has a bunch of like lights, underwater cameras. So it's essentially the smart connected home hub for your boat. So if you have a super nice boat, you've got all these different things set up on your boat, this may be of interest to you. It's not to me because I don't have all that stuff and I'm going to be on the boat when I'm doing it, but pretty cool. Like the way that this technology is advancing, it's kind of moving from like what we've had in our homes to now what we have in our boats. All right, now to some of the events that are coming up. So this is going on right now. Check out your local Shields store for their Fish Fest. This is one of the closest ones to me here. It's in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and it happened actually today, April 11th, and it is tomorrow. And they've got the hours here, so it's 9:30 to 5 p.m. tomorrow. And we got people tomorrow there, like Johnny Candle's going to be there doing a seminar from 12 to 3 p.m. We got Tom Wynn. He is 10 to 11 a.m. and then 4 to 5 p.m. And then we've got Josh Douglas tomorrow, 4 to 5 p.m. So if you want to and you're in the area of Eden Prairie Shields, go check it out. I don't know if I'm going to swing by or not. They usually have some of the best deals going on. So stop on in. I think they probably have it like a tent outside and all that kind of stuff too, but giveaways and tons of really cool stuff. So go check it out. Go check out your local Shields. This is just the one that's by me. The other thing, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, Thorn Brothers. They're actually a pretty big name, I found out. They were actually at freaking Bassmaster Classic. But Thorn Bros, they were one of the retailers down there. Thorn Bros is a pretty big like fishing place up here. They're about 20 minutes from my house. They've got their spring sale going on today, Friday, and then it's Saturday and Sunday. So this weekend. So most of the sales are in store. They do have some sales available on their website. So go check it out. I'll link it down below. Biggest sale of the year for fishing. So like I went there today after work and I got 20% off a bunch of accessories. I got more Trax Tech accessories for my boat. I got that the BKK, the hooks, the OCD package. Like it's awesome. I'll make a post about it, but I picked it up and I'm super excited about that. I got 20% off of that, which was incredible. What else did I get? I got a couple of new tungsten jigs and whatnot too that I had my eye on. They didn't have a few things. Like I wanted to get some of the new Plano tackle boxes. I wanted to get the new Daiwa one that has like the silicone inserts in it. And there were a couple other things that they didn't have. I'm sure Shields would have them, but I don't know if I'm going to drive all the way down to Eden Prairie tomorrow for that. So we'll see. And they've got some scheduled events going on as well. So Tom Wynn has a walleye seminar at 1 p.m. So it looks like he's down in Eden Prairie. Then he's going to drive up to Blaine. Then he's driving back to Eden Prairie. So he's got a busy day. And then we've got a guide panel, Luke Ronestrand, Michael Hansen, Ryan McMahon, John Holmgren, and then all day on Sunday is a Sam Sobey meetup. So if you want to swing in and see Sobey, check him out then. All right. Here's actually a pretty killer deal. I have not looked to see if this deal is everywhere. But if it is, I will link to the other places as well. But I saw it on FishUSA first. This is the Garmin EchoMap Ultra 2 12-inch all-in-one live scope plus bundle. So this is the screen plus the LVS 34. This is $32.99. This is $1,100 off. This is what I will tell you. This is $50 more than the Black Friday price. That's it. Only $50 more. So if you miss this on Black Friday, if you were like, I want a 12-inch Ultra 2 screen, I don't need a GPS map, I don't need any of that, because you can do Active Captain on this now. You can use Helm on the Ultra 2s. It's 12-inch screen. It's awesome. It's got the 2 Ethernet ports on the back of it, and it comes with the latest and greatest live scope transducer, the LVS 34, the Live Scope Plus, $32.99. It's actually not a bad deal. I use the GPS map ecosystem. Otherwise, I'd probably be picking one of these up to add another screen to my boat. But yeah, I mean, sick deal. So I'll link it down below. If I find a better deal at Shields or something, I'll link it down below as well. I have not checked, but I know FishUSA has it going right now. I'll put a direct link to this so that you can check it out. I'm going to refresh the page. It says 4 in stock. Okay, there's still 4 in stock because I loaded this about an hour ago. So order it soon if you're going to. I'll drop a link down below. All right, next up, Trika. You all know about Trika. I talk quite a bit about them. I really like their rods. I think they're great. They have a season kickoff sale, 15% off all rods. So if you're looking at any of the rods that they have, you can get 15% off that you'll see here, which is actually a better deal on the 6X by $2 than what they had before, because they had $50 off of rods before, and that 15% takes $349 down 50. Is that $52? So it's $2 more than that. So now is a good time to pick up that 6X rod if you are interested in it. It is their top of the line open water rod. I've got 2 of them, and I love them. They're great. All right. And then the last but not least deal we got going right now is FishUSA. I want to call this out because typically I will go in here and put whatever FishUSA's deals are for the day, because they send a daily email and I'm like, hey, if people want to know about what's going on, they can save. These deals are longer than just today. These deals go from April 11th, which started today, through the 14th, because it's the Angler Appreciation Days at FishUSA. So you can get 15% off all lures and baits just using the promo code thank you. So all lures and baits, go on their website, add them to your cart, put thank you, one word, into the cart in the promo code box, and you get 15% off. Some exclusions do apply. It says in stock only, and it's valid until 11:59 p.m. Eastern time on 4/14. 4/14 is Monday night. So Monday at midnight is when that will stop. 25% off all FishUSA flagship rods, Buy FishUSA Ultimate Aluminum fishing pliers. Get a free FishUSA Flagship Premium Fillet Knife. Tackle. And then they got a lot of clearance as well. And then they've got the 10-inch. I don't know if this is on sale or not. Should we click on it? It is on sale. So if you wanted that Ultra 2 with the 10-inch, you can get it for $24.99. The 12-inch was at $32.99. So $800 more to get up to that 12-inch. So that is what we've got here. Drop down in the comments. Let me know, what did you like the most about the stream? What product, what feature, what news article, what did you like seeing? If you're going to be watching on the replay and you're watching this back and we're not live anymore, please drop down in the comments and just say replay squad. I always love to see who watches it after the fact. But if you are like me and planning on getting out this weekend, be safe out there. Wear your PFD, wear that life jacket. Make sure you bundle up in case it's a little windy and cool out because it's still early in the season. Tight lines. I hear the crappie are really killing it right now out there. So get out there, have some fun. Hopefully we all have some wonderful weather this weekend. Until next time, take it easy, and we'll see you later this week. We got a boat video coming this week that is a walk around of my new boat. It'll be posting to the channel before I did anything to it. I'm currently working on rigging it out, so that video will come probably the next week. So anyways, take it easy, tight line.